Well, here we are once again. It's been a few weeks, maybe even a month. I didn't check the date. It's August 21st today, a week after my summer holidays. We had a great holiday in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, saw lots of family. It was a wonderful time. And, of course, well, it was holidays, so you kind of let yourself go during that time. You want to be off from everything, not just off from work, but off from your routines, like exercising and eating proper, shall we say, and stuff. And I wanted to record a video this morning about guilt. Or it takes more than just being good with guilt. Guilt's a big problem sometimes for many people, has been for me over the years. And it's something I've been learning to deal with. I was going to say I've come to grasp with, but I can never say I'm 100% in control of it. I got to be careful. If I'm not careful, that's when things happen. So, but yeah, guilt is really bad. It really affects you. It screws up your mind. It really, you've set a certain path, and you come to a crossroads where you know which way keeps you on that path and which way doesn't, and then sometimes you want to go and it doesn't, and you do, and as long as you don't feel guilty about that, it doesn't affect the overall picture in a way, right? So my biggest problem is always because I took the wrong path or the different choice, because the different choice isn't that dramatic at times. Sometimes it can be very small. Let me give you a couple of examples. I've been, now that I'm back at home and I'm back to, I like going intermittent fasting. It works for me. I eat from 12 to 8. And I'm not someone that dies of hunger and got to eat in the morning. So it's all good. And I'll have my sensible lunch, sensible dinner, snack in the middle. Snack in the middle is my vegetable shake and a protein shake. And I have my regular lunch, a good lunch, good dinner, sensible. That was the word, right? Got to use the right vocabulary. Because if I don't use the right vocabulary, I start playing games in my mind. But and I'm the type of guy that likes to, end the whole thing with some sweets or something, a dessert, let's say. So I replace that with some fruit. So I'll have a couple of strawberries, blueberries, stuff like that. That's to finish off, and then I'm good. And it works great for me. It brings a success to what I want to achieve. And if I diverge from that one day, if something happens, well, you just go right back. That's what they keep telling you, and that's what I've tried to do all my life. But often in the past, it's that choice becomes something that's guilt-ridden, and that guilt plays with your mind and brings all these negative emotions and makes you feel bad about yourself, which leads you to take that wrong path again and again, and then all of a sudden, there you go. So, anyway, so sometimes that guilt can be, like I was saying just a few minutes ago, so small and insignificant, So I've been doing the intermittent fasting, and I watch my carbs. If Julie says we're eating pasta one night, we'll eat pasta. That's fine. It's not a big deal. But normally it's some sort of protein, meat, chicken, fish, and mostly vegetables. If there's a little bit of carbs in there, it's okay, but when I can avoid them, why not? Because I'm satisfied that way. Friday came along, and Friday's often a night that you don't feel like cooking. Been working all week and stuff, so we go for the easy meal, and just happen to have a frozen pizza in the fridge, in the freezer, and so Julie wanted to have that, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's fine. I mean, you just got to be sensible about it. You can eat anything. So even though I'm watching my carbs and trying to eat less, it was okay. So we had this pizza, and we had a nice salad with it, nice meal. And pizza was, I guess it'd be about the size of a medium, right? And So when I looked at the pizza, I said, okay, a quarter. I'll have a nice big piece, which is like a quarter of the pie. With my salad, and I'll be good with that. So I cut the quarter, gave Julie her a quarter too, so half the pizza's still sitting there. And then I ate my salad and ate my piece pizza, and I was satisfied. I was no longer hungry. And then Julie took maybe like an eighth. She instead of taking the second quarter, she took half of it. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, no, I'm satisfied with what I've eaten, and I really was. And then I don't know, we were just talking and still at the dinner table, and finally looked at her and I said, "Oh, cut me a small piece like yours too, so like an eighth there too. Is that a problem?" No, it's not a problem, but it just that's my mind playing with me. I know it is. It's my mind just making sure that I didn't live up to what I said I was going to do, and that's when the guilt can come in. So because even though it's okay to have eaten like the quarter and then a little eighth with my salad, that doesn't go against. It wouldn't have changed anything. But just because I had decided to eat this and then I eat this instead, it's that choice. It's that change in decision that it becomes more clear that you've gone off to another direction when you're faced with that crossroads. So that could play with you. It could play with my mind, and something that would have played with my mind. And I'd like to say that it didn't. I think it didn't, but I'm not confident about these things anymore, and for good reason. So I've seen myself, go the other way so many times. So it was fine, and I'm fine with it. It didn't cause any kind of reaction or any desires that the next day I wasn't looking to eat and eat and eat like it's done in the past. So I'd put that guilt aside. No, there was no guilt, right? But still, you got to wonder from past experience, was it really guiltless, or just the fact that you changed that decision? It's really amazing, I just see how it happens and how the mind works and how and then the next day, same type of thing. Unfortunately, we had a funeral to go to, and I did my intermittent fasting as usual, and we went to the service. It was late morning, the service at 11, and then invited for like a little lunch at noon. So it was like perfect. It's like my first meal of the day, and it's one of the, how these things are. Some sandwiches and cold pasta salads and potato salads and stuff like that, and little desserts, little squares of desserts, no big thing. So I filled up a plate, sensible plate. I'm watching my carbs. I'm eating bread and pasta and potatoes. It's all carbs, but it's okay. It's not like I took this fucking big round plate of no, it was just like 3-4 small pieces of sandwiches, egg, ham, whatever, a couple of helpings of pasta or salads, and anyway, it was okay. And at the same time, out of habit, I also grabbed that little square of dessert, or actually it was one of these little rectangular things, and I brought it with me. And I'm eating my lunch. I haven't eaten dessert or had any alcohol all week because that's part of the plan. I want to lose weight, so you got to make some concessions somewhere. And then I'm sitting there eating my sandwich. I'm looking at the piece of chocolate cake, and I'm going, "Why'd you take that? I mean, you haven't eaten dessert all week, so why would you always? Is there anything wrong with eating that? Of course not. It's just a small piece of chocolate cake." But it's just like, what did you? I was dumbfounded. Obviously, honestly, that's what I'm. It was just, why did I take that? And so anyway, I looked at it and I said, it's just a small piece of cake. So I finished my sandwiches, and already the alarm's going in the head. Just don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty about it. Just like, it's okay, and believe that it's okay, that it's really okay. So finally I said, okay, I will have it. And then I looked at it and I saw Julie hadn't brought a dessert. So I said, I'll eat half of it. So that's what I did. I ate half the small piece of cake. And then I even slid the plate over to Julie. we didn't even talk about it. And she saw me do it. So in her head, she said to herself, well, okay, he wants to share the dessert. So then I sat there for about a minute or two, and I glanced over at the chocolate cake, and I said, well, the hell with it. And I just took it back, and I took two more bites, two more bites. But there again, see, it was this other choice that's on top of, that changes, does something different than what I had decided and was okay with. Was I still okay with it after? Of course I was. And I should say of course, because that's something often in the past that would have me go, off the deep end. Something as stupid, as small as that, because it starts playing with your mind. You didn't do what you wanted to do. You did something else. You went the other way. But it's just two bites of a little, very tiny piece of chocolate cake. And Julie laughed because she turned around, saw an empty plate, and she goes, I thought we were sharing that. And I said, well, I guess we aren't. So she laughed and she went to get herself a piece of dessert. So anyway, there's just two quick examples that are very fresh, just happened, just to show how, guilt could have caused that situation to kind of like fuck me up in the mind and not be happy with myself, because that's how guilt works. And then that would have led to another wrong choice, a bigger wrong choice, and then another bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's how you end up falling off the deep end, like I've often described in past videos. So you got to constantly be careful with that, and I have been. It took me a long time to deal with that. Often. I've been told that like for years. It's like my coaches, my nutritionists. It's always, as long as you go back to it, and you don't let that feeling of guilt overcome you. But I've failed so often with that in the past that even though I feel strong and I feel that it didn't affect me, and I'm not all of a sudden like. Hungry crazy, and I just want to eat everything I can get my hands on, or purposely sabotage any progress that I'm doing or anything like that. None of that is there. Nothing has changed. And I'll be going to the gym in about an hour. It opens at 8 o'clock. It's 7 in the morning right now on a Sunday. And anyway, but still, so having a handle on that guilt, or a perceived handle, I was going to be careful, and as long as I'm careful, I will keep a handle on it. That's the thing. I can't let my guard down. So anyway, I want to talk about. It takes more than that. It's a good thing to finally be able to do a small little wrong decision, not really wrong, but and keep going like as if nothing had happened. But there comes a point where you have to. You have to go for it. I mean, let's take my holidays. Before I left on my holidays, I was getting close to my 340. That's my next 10-pound increment. I've been working to get that for about a month, to get to 340, from 350 to 340. And I was at 342. And I was just on the verge of getting there. And then even a couple of days before we left holidays, I just kind of let go a little bit. And during the holidays, that's what we did. That's what I did. I let go. Did I go food crazy? No, I didn't go food crazy. But, craft breweries. I love craft beers. And we went to Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. There's a bunch of craft breweries. It's the only occasion I get to taste these beers. And is there anything wrong with that? No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like I've limited my alcohol, like I limit my dessert, because I have certain goals that I want to reach. But being on holidays is to take a break, not only from work, but also take a break from that. It's just got to be careful at what level you bring that to, I guess. And I think I brought it to a pretty high level, because I ate well, and when I ate well, it means a lot, and it's more than what I've been eating, and drank pretty much every day, and so So then you think about the guilt. You come back, and I came back and I jumped on the scale, and the number's 360, but it was the number I was expecting. I've talked about this before. I'm a guy that retains a lot of water, and whenever I start diverging or whenever I start eating better, there's a drastic change in weights at the beginning. After that, it becomes very slow. But I hold about 10 to 15 pounds of extra water when I'm when I'm not eating well. Let's put it that way. And when I mean not eating well, so a lot of carbs, lots of fats, and lots of everything, lots of sugar. So anyway, so that wasn't that dramatic, and it wasn't like depressing. It wasn't this effective saying, "Oh my fucking Lord, 360." I'm right back to where I started from. But I knew, and we came in Friday night, Friday evening, Saturday morning. I was at the gym. I was at the gym Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday again. It was just yesterday. I'll be going again this morning. So, and I jumped on the scale yesterday. It was 345. So see, that 15 pounds in a week just came off. And now I'll work hard all week again. I'll probably be right back to that 342. So I'm back to where I was, which is, there you go. It wasn't that big a deal. And I'm not letting the guilt, affect me in a way that it could have me fall off. Anyway, so, but the point is that, I've built this path that I want to follow for 18 months. It's a long period. So to take 2 weeks from that 18 months and take a break and say, okay, it'll just postpone everything for two weeks. I'll just keep going after. Well, but the truth is, what I've just described to you this week, where I took the 15 off, and next week I'll take another 2 or 3 off and be right back into the game. So in fact, it's not 2 weeks, it's 4 weeks, because it takes just as much time to get back to where you were than during the time that you let go. So all of a sudden, that 4 weeks, that seems big. It's not. It's a month. It's like it's a lost month, and it's so even that I've learned how to control that, and I've learned not to let the guilt from something like that affect me, to not keep going. It just it still feels like I'm just threading water. I'm not really getting to where I want to go. I'm a month later and I'm at the same weight. So do I feel guilty about that? Do I feel bad about that? Do I feel depressed about that or discouraged? I don't feel discouraged. I don't feel guilty. Do I feel angry? Maybe. Not angry, but, but I think there's a point where you just got to say, just go until you get there, If not if, but once I'm at the weight I want to be, and then I'm eating in a way to maintain that weight, if at that time I diverge a little, comes up in a little bit, and then I'm careful and it comes back down, but then I start playing that small yo-yo to stay at that healthy weight, well, that's fine. But until I get there, I gotta follow that path more. I gotta keep going until I get there, because it's just gonna. It's in a way, even though there's no guilt, I'm still threading water, or it's going a lot slower than it. It's gonna take a lot more than 18 months to get to where I want to go if I keep doing it this way. So I think that's what this video is about. It's coming to terms with that. Unfortunately, it's something I've said before. So when will I actually come into terms with that? That's the question. So holidays, Christmas holidays, dinner parties, summer. Summer's tough, man. Summer is really tough. I started at the end of spring. This whole journey, this 18 months journey, and I start with like a summer. It's like it's tough, man. We have a really nice summer too. It's so inviting to let go and have fun and enjoy myself, and a part of that enjoyment is eating certain things and enjoying a nice cold beer on a warm sunny day and stuff like that. But if I really want to get to where I want to go, I gotta put that aside constantly for a long period of time and not let all these little events that I consider okay and without guilt and without letting them stop me from moving forward. They got to be put aside. They got to be put aside, or else I'll never get there. Or it'll take 10 years, and by then, who the fuck cares? But no, not who the fuck cares. But you understand what I mean. So I think that's where I'm at today. It's just I'm not discouraged. I'm not disappointed. I'm just like all the videos. I guess I'm just working this out of my head, and it's like you gotta reach that point where you gotta go. And part of me really can't wait till this summer is over because it's really tough in the summer. And funny thing is, I said that last year and last fall. I was in my mind. I saw myself like going exercise crazy and accomplishing all these things, and I didn't. But it's gonna happen this year. Yeah. So let's keep working, get to that 340, and then we'll go for that 330, and there you go. So it's a nice video. Thanks for listening.